I remember thinking to myself as a kid, he's God. He can do what he wants to. What is this let and accept and all this that as it pertains to God? Why are we saying this? Because I believe that God could do what he wanted to, that he was in control and in command. And a lot of that probably came from, I remember this one conversation in school where the teacher, and this was way before they really cracked down on theology or anything like that in schools. But I remember having a conversation with this one teacher, and she said something to the effect of, if God turned his head, or if he turned away or looked away or let go of this earth just for a moment, it could just vanish and float off into the sun, something to that effect. Basically saying if it weren't for God, the grace of God, we could all just be consumed and be burned up and gone. And I remember thinking, when I go to these churches and I hear these people give the, what I'll call the let God talk or whatever, of, are we talking about the same person here in different contexts? That was what I was, or the same spiritual being, I should say. That was something that as a young child that I was getting a realization of this just doesn't fit. This is very contradictory. I kept saying to myself, and never really said it much to anyone else because I was hearing everyone else around me say it a different way, but I was like, God can do what he wants to. So as an adult, and definitely not a Bible scholar, I don't profess to be a ordained elder or anything like that. I'm just here giving devotionals and thinking out loud as far as my journey goes and my study of the scriptures. But as an adult looking back over that time, and especially after learning the truth and becoming saved and looking back at my life during that period of time, it was amazing that what God was doing in my life, even at that time, even though it would be many years before he would bring me to the realization that I'm one of his and that I'm saved and will be going to heaven. And I've heard different preachers talk about it, and I've heard different testimonies, and I've heard folks talk about just leading a very wicked life up to a certain point, even the Apostle Paul himself. And I'm not saying that I by any means lived a good or better life. There was times in my youth when I would think these things, and I don't know that I ever let go of those beliefs, and all that was a head knowledge. That was just learning. But obviously there were times in between that and salvation that I really let go and did a whole lot of worse things. But I certainly don't believe and know through the truth that he wasn't trying to lure me in at that time.